What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building with another video, man. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it. Give me a sec, y'all. Look like this lighting is horrible. So we gonna try to get some stuff going here. So sorry about that. Should have had that planned out before I came through. There we go. So we are here to talk about the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? We had some inductees, we had some things go on, we had some guys get in that we were wishing could get in, we had some guys get in that took forever to get in. But at the end of the day, these guys are in, and there's a specific reason that they're in. So as you can see, I'm here, you know what I'm saying, early in the morning. It's the day before the Super Bowl. I'm nervous as heck. I love my squad, but we ain't been back since 2019, man. And this literally marks the 30-year anniversary of us winning our last Super Bowl. So we got to get the job done, ladies and gents. We got to get the job done. But what I am here to talk about once again is the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is one of the most prestigious honors that you can have when you are in the NFL. And a lot of people will say that it doesn't really make them or break them, but secretly you want to be a part of the Hall of Fame. The reason being is because that means that you are amongst your peers at the top of Mount Everest, Mount Rushmore. You know, you are there with some of the greats, and you can say that your name is in that hall. You can say that you have a bust in Canton, and you can state that means my peers around me, the people that I know, voted and said I was worthy. It meant enough for me to be able to go and get this, get this prestigious honor. So we're gonna go, with a couple of different dudes. Now, two dudes made the Hall of Fame that I have no idea who they are. So with respect to those guys, I'm gonna leave them out only because I don't want to talk about people I don't know about. But the five guys that I am gonna talk about, I know a little bit about, and I saw every last thing that they did, and I respect all of their stats, their achievements, and what they've done in the NFL. So you're going to see the background change based on the person that I'm talking about, and we're going to start off, man, with one of the most dangerous return men ever to grace the field. This dude literally was the man, and if y'all can't see, I'm gonna slide over. That's Devin Hester. What's happening with you, Tommy? How you doing, you little fucker? I love you, bro. Um, hey man, let me tell you something. If you were a special teams coordinator, this guy was a nightmare. He lived in your dreams for weeks on end because you knew you had to prepare for someone you couldn't stop. Devin Hester was so damn good at kick and punt returns, people kicked away from him. People wouldn't kick to him. And it would be rare if he started to get an opportunity to be able to do these things because throughout the time of the NFL, you know what I'm saying, you had different guys. You had the Dante Halls, you had the Josh Cribbs, you had the Deion Sanders, you know what I'm saying? You had those dudes, you had the Ted Ginn Juniors, you had those guys that you just didn't want to kick to. One, they were too dynamic. Two, they were too damn fast. Or three, you just knew they was going to make something happen and you didn't want to kick to them. And I can tell you right now, Devin Hester is definitely one of those dudes, man. He was a nightmare to defend against on special teams. The man had vision like no other. And he was so damn quick and so damn smooth with everything he did. It frustrated people. So to be honest with you, man, it definitely, my boy Josh, my boy Josh will love this, man, because that's his dude, man. He's a diehard Bears fan, and Devin Hester was definitely his guy. So we're going to take a look at Devin Hester. Now, one thing I will say is Devin Hester was primarily a return guy. He was not much else. He did play a little wide receiver. I think he even played a little DB. But when you go ahead and take a look at Devin Hester's stats, he was in the league for 12 years. You see that he had 8 years with Chicago, 2 years with Atlanta, 1 year with Baltimore, and 1 year with Seattle. These 2 last years I don't really count because there wasn't much of anything going on. But his main years were in Chicago, and that's where he wreaked havoc on the league for years on end. Um, Devin Hester was so damn dynamic as a return guy. You just didn't think about what you were doing if you actually kicked to him. So let me give y'all some information. Devin Hester is a 4-time Pro Bowler. This man was named to the 2000s and 2010s All Decade team. He had 108 yards. His longest return was 108 yards on a missed field goal. This man started as if he was going to stop and then took the fuck off and blew it out the water, man. It's just fantastic. He's sixth in kick return yards, 10th in kick return average, fourth in kick return yards per game, fifth in kick return TDs, punt returns TDs. He's second, punt return average. He's second. These are all time punt return yards per game first, punt return TDs first, total return TDs ever 20. That is numero uno. Devin Hester would kill you with his return games. And what people didn't realize is, once again, not a lot of receiving, not a lot of rushing. His offensive stats were what we would focus on. It honestly was his actual return stats, which actually blew people's minds. And that was the thing about it, man. Devin Hester was such a dynamic player and such a ridiculous person that you just didn't want. What's going on, man? You just didn't want any problems like that. You truthfully did not. It was crazy to watch and see this young man go out there and wreak havoc year in and year out on the league and on special teams coordinators. And then every now and then, I'm saying, he would do some things offensively. Once again, as I stated, it wasn't much that he did as far as like the receiving and the rushing and whatnot. It looks like throughout his whole career, he had a total of 16 TDs. As far as, just playing in the games. He only had one receiving touchdown. Looks like that was it. Like, he really didn't do much from an offensive standpoint. But what you can, definitely make sure that you see is the fact that Devin Hester was the most dangerous return man that I've ever seen in my life. He was a it's as Tommy said, he was a freaking dog. That man was a dude you did not want to see on the field ever. When you saw somebody standing back there for a punt return and kick return, Devin Hester was never the dude you wanted to see. You wanted to see anybody besides him. And I'll tell you this, man, I respect him. Congratulations to him. I'm glad he went ahead and made it, into the Hall of Fame, man. And, shout out to Devin Hester for being that damn great. And the league finally recognizing that this dude was just that awesome. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Hester for what he did, man. Appreciate him. Let's take a look at the next guy on the list because we've got some dogs here, man. We got some serious dogs. And these dudes are to be respected. This man right here, y'all see the background change. I'm going to slide over again. A fellow Johnson, you got, I'm going to show love to my Johnsons automatically. Andre Johnson was a monster at receiver. Andre Johnson is the first Houston Texan to ever be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Andre Johnson literally was so much of a dog, but he was so quiet, you wouldn't know it. Like, Andre never talked. He'll tell you himself, he's a quiet guy. I've seen him in interviews. I've seen him on, I think I Am Athlete. I think I've seen him on possibly even The Pivot as well. I'm not 100% sure on both of those. Don't quote me. But he was on one of those. And the dude was very quiet. He's very calm. He's very reserved. And one of the things that Andre Johnson is well known for is his fight with Cortland Finnegan. Cortland Finnegan, I believe at that time, was a Tennessee Titan. And Finnegan liked to talk. Finnegan talked shit. He talked trash. That's what he did. Some players are like that. But Cortland Finnegan ran his mouth just a bit too much and met his match. And I can tell you right now, I know I'm starting off with a negative thing, but let me explain something to you. It's the quiet ones you got to worry about, folks. Don't ever piss off a quiet person because you don't know what they're capable of. They're reserve, their calm, their observation of wherever they are is there for a reason. People, Andre Johnson ragdolled him. He didn't even take off his helmet. He snatched him by his face mask, drug him all over the field. Like this dude, it's insane. It was insane. And there was no help for Corson Finnegan. None at all. He just had to deal with it and take it. It is what it is, man. Andre Johnson was such a dog, man, in ways you can't imagine. He played for a few different teams, just as Devin Hester did. But let's take a look at Andre Johnson and his stats and what you have for him. So once this pops up for you, Andre Johnson, 6'3", 230 pounds. It's a big boy. It's a grown ass man out there, man. And as you can see, he spent most of his years in Houston. He spent 12 years in Houston, 1 year in Indy, and 1 year in Tennessee before he decided to hang up the cleats, man. But his formidable years, he had that 103 receiving year, 103 receptions in 2006. 115 receptions in 2008, 101 receptions in 2009, 112 in 2012, 109 in 2013. So that's 4 times that man had over 100 receptions. He broke the 1,000-yard mark. If you look at his career, 1, 2, 3, 4 times as far as his receiving. So you can tell that this young man was a monster. He was a baller. You know what I mean? And then when you look at the TDs, they were sporadic. And this is one thing that's actually kind of glaring to me that I didn't notice before. The man's never had a double-digit touchdown season ever in his career. The most receiving touchdowns he had was in 2009 with 9 total. And then, but the years before that, 2007, 2008, he had 8, and then 2010 he had 8 again. After that, he never had many receiving touchdowns. Before his career, that man, has 14,185 yards. Andre Johnson is just a flat out monster. 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All Pro, first Texas player to go into the Hall of Fame, 70 touchdowns for his career, led the league in receiving twice, 7 1,000-yard seasons. And that is insane. So for you to have a 12-year career, 7 times you go over 1,000 yards, that tells me you're definitely a dog. I love Andre Johnson. I love what he did. And I love his quiet, calm reserve on the field. That young man was a flat-out baller, and there's nothing you could tell me about that. Andre Johnson, full-on monster. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, my brother. You deserve it. There's no other person that deserves it more than you do. I'm just telling you that right now. So, Manny Savers, what's going on, bro? And yes, I am probably going to do my own little individual preview show for the Super Bowl. I'll probably do it tomorrow in the morning while everybody's nervous and freaking out. I know there's going to be a lot of people going to Vegas. I intended on going to Vegas, but, I got things I got to do here. I got things I got to take care of. I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to be at the bar, be at Bar City Tavern with my dogs. We're going to be out there making it happen, Captain. So, Andre Johnson, shout out to you, brother, for making the Hall of Fame. You deserve it. You were a great player. I watched every snap that I could. I saw all the highlights, and I love what you did, man. You just kept it quiet. Excuse me, you kept it a buck. You did what you had to do, and you made it happen, man. So the next guy here that we are going to speak in reference to as far as that is concerned, we're going to go ahead and keep it moving. We're going to talk about a monster on defense. This man right here, the white motherfucking Freeney, bruh. Hey, man, you got to respect Freeney, bro. Dwight Freeney is a flat-out dog. Dwight Freeney, 7-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, 2000s All-Decade Team, 18th all-time in sacks with 125 and a half. The number one thing that Dwight Freeney was known for? His bend and his flex. His spin move was flat-out disgusting. That man pirouetted on them feet like he was a damn ballerina. And believe you me, man, he moves so swiftly, so smoothly. Dwight Freeney was definitely a dog. I gotta say, I have a lot of love for this guy, man. I was really hoping that when we got Drake Jackson, he could be like a Dwight Freeney. But unfortunately that didn't necessarily work out the best, but it's all good. So let's take a look at Dwight Freeney and his stats. Dwight Freeney had an extremely illustrious career. He's 6'1", 268 pounds. I'm saying he played majority of his career in Indy. But he spent, it looks like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years in the league. He came in 2000, I'm sorry, 15 years in the league, 2002 to 2017. He played majority of his career with Indy. When he left Indy, he went to San Diego for a bit. Then he went to Arizona. Then he went to ATL, and that was pretty much it. But what I can tell you is Dwight Freeney was a monster, man. He was a defensive end. You can see he even played right outside linebacker, left outside linebacker. His size and his speed allowed him to literally be a hybrid linebacker slash defensive end. And it's rare that you can see that when it comes to a player, but some people just are able to pull it off and do things that other players can't. Dwight Freeney literally had 47 forced fumbles. That's insane. He had 4 fumble recoveries. He did have 1 TD in his career all the way back in 2003. You know what I'm saying? He had 125 and a half sacks. This man had double-digit sacks in his first 4 seasons. That's insane. And his highest sack total was 16 in 2004, but you had 13 sacks in 2002, 11 in 2003, 16 in 2004, 11 in 2005, 10 and a half in 2008, 13 and a half in 2009, 10 in 2010. You know what I'm saying? So that man had the double-digit sacks going on a consistent basis throughout his career. Yes, every now and then, you have injuries, you have things that happen and whatnot. But here you go. He got Defensive Rookie of the Year fresh out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Defensive Player of the Year. All these things, come in. You see Pro Bowl, you see, all pros, all these things come into play, man. And Dwight Freeney had an illustrious career. He was just, like I said, a flat out monster. 350 combined tackles, 299 of them were solo. So that tells you the man didn't really need no help when he was tackling anybody. He was out there doing it. He had 128 tackles for a loss. Now you have 128 TFLs. That is flat out amazing. Over a 15-year career. That's great. So he was awesome, man. Hit the quarterback 148 times, so you can't stop Dwight Freeney. You've got to love this guy. You got to appreciate him for everything he did for the city of Indianapolis. And even the small time that he spent with the Chargers, and then with Arizona, and then with ATL. But yeah, you gotta love Dwight Freeney and what he brings to the table, man. This dude is well deserving of the Hall of Fame. He was a great, great player, and none but love to him, man. None but love to his family. Shout out to you, Dwight Freeney, for being able to make it into the NFL Hall of Fame. That was great, bro. That was really, really good. So the next guy up on the list, I'm just gonna put the picture up, and y'all gonna know who this dude is. Let me tell you right now, he was a monster. Another monster on the field, another defensive player. But this dude rang bells, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. Y'all see the man. Y'all see the name, man. Julius Peppers. Yo, man, Julius Peppers to me, honestly, who looked like a possible child of his is honestly somebody on our team, Chase Young. That's the Chase Young looks a little bit like Pep. He ain't move like Pep. He ain't got the stats to Pep do, but he looks a little bit like him. You know what I'm saying? Minus the ears. Julius Peppers has some big ass ears. I know everybody's probably gonna be like, man, don't make fun of him. I'm like, look, man, at the end of the day, man, we got big ears, you got big ears, okay? Motherfuckers make fun of you for all kinds of shit. But Julius Peppers was a flat out superstar on the field. He was a monster in ways you couldn't imagine. This was a dog before the term dog was even used that crazily in the NFL. Julius Peppers, man, is a flat out gangster. All right, on the field. Let me show y'all this dude's stats. It's just unruly, man. And I know I had everybody's Pro Bowl and all that stuff. And I don't have his right now, but I can tell you when I pull up this stat sheet, you'll see what it is. Julius Peppers, 6'7", 295 pounds. That is a monstrous load of a human being. And I'm telling you right now, man, look at this 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All Pro. all decade team for 2000, all decade team for 2010. You know what I'm saying? Defensive rookie of the year. It goes on and on. His accolades are just flat out amazing. Julius Peppers spent looks like 17 years in the league. Technically, 16 years in the league. I apologize. He had 10 years in Carolina, 4 years in Chicago, and 3 years in Green Bay. Take a look at Julius Peppers. He started his rookie season off with 12 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Then he came in with 7. Then he came in with 11. Then 10 and a half. Then 13. Now this season, he only had 2.5 sacks. But then you take a look at it, 14 and a half, 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half, 10 and a half, 11. Like this dude literally had double-digit sacks throughout pretty much his whole career. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He broke that. He had double-digit sacks throughout his career in 10 out of the 16 years that he played. That's insanity. That means that man was consistent, year in and year out. You have a couple of years where you see low numbers. His last year in Carolina when he went back, he had 5 sacks, but then he had 11 in 2017. When you take a look at his lowest output, it was 2007 in Carolina. He had 2 sacks, 2.5. And that's the lowest you've seen him. He's never been below 5 sacks other than that in his career, ever. So year in and year out, this man would put up the sacks. You know what I mean? He had 52 forced fumbles. When you take a look at that, that's insanity. He actually had 4 touchdowns, and that ain't usual for a guy that's out there supposed to be sacking the quarterback. 719 combined tackles, 557 solo. He had 175 tackles for a loss, 186 QB hits. And then look at all the accolades right here, man. Look at this. This is just insanity. Like this dude was literally a monster year in and year out, and you couldn't stop him. There was no way to stop that man coming off the edge. It was just too hard. And as much as you wanted to, you could not stop him. What's going on, man? What's up, Steve-O? But yeah, this game right here, man, it tells you right off the bat that anybody can come in and conquer it. They just have to be able to have the will, the strength, and to know how to get it done. And Julius Peppers, you got it done, sir. You got it done. I watched a lot of him playing, and I'm telling you right now, it wasn't just highlights. Every now and then I'd catch a Carolina game if it was on TV just to watch him wreak havoc. That's how great he was, man. Julius Peppers, shout out to you, bro. Congrats to making the Hall of Fame. You are definitely well worthy of it for the career that you had and the things that you've done in the NFL, man. It is well deserved. We're going to talk about this last dude. This here is a man that I consider to be the greatest linebacker for the 49ers of all time. What's going on, Dave? I don't think of anyone else when I think of linebackers, and I think of the 49ers. And I really am upset that it took this long to get this guy into the NFL Hall of Fame. But it happens, you know what I'm saying? Some people take forever, some people don't. But when I change this picture, I need everybody to put some clapping hands in the fucking chat, please. I usually don't request nothing from y'all because I love my chat. I love anybody who watches my videos. I appreciate anybody who takes time out to listen to me sit here and ramble on about football. But I need claps from everybody here, man, when I put this damn picture up, because this man was more deserving than anybody. And y'all already know who the fuck it is, man. It's my dog, man. P. Willie in the building, baby. Patrick Willis is in the Hall of Motherfucking Fame, and it's about motherfucking time. It took you bastards long enough to realize the greatness that stood before you on the field. This was a formidable talent. Patrick Willis is so damn great, and he played in an era where you could play football and you could hit. And nobody threw flags on bullshit calls. There was no defenseless receiver and none of that fuck shit. It wasn't this cupcake league that we live in today. Patrick Willis played in an era where you had to be the man. Look at this. Look at that helmet. That helmet right there tells you, I'm here to rip your head off. I love what Patrick Willis has done, man. He was such a fantastic player and a great guy. He modeled himself after one of the greatest linebackers the Ravens have ever seen, and I believe their greatest linebacker, and that was Ray Lewis. I remember they caught a shot of him on the sidelines, and Ray Lewis asked him for his jersey, and he told him no. And it's like, bro, this is Ray Lewis, this is the guy you modeled your game after. How you gonna say no? Patrick Willis was great, man. He did have some issues with his feet. That's why he had to retire early, and it broke all of our hearts as Niner fans, especially mine, because I love what he did so much. Patrick Willis was just such a monster, and he was so great. And I like a linebacker that can hit and rock your world and take your life from you. And that's what Patrick Willis did, man. Patrick Willis literally was one of the greatest linebackers to ever grace the field, and he didn't even play that long. Patrick Willis, a five-time first-team All-Pro, seven-time Pro Bowler, two-time NFL tackles leader, NFL 2010's All-Decade Team. We brought Patrick Willis in, and you are correct, Tommy. He did go ahead and revolutionize that linebacker position. He showed linebackers, hey, it's okay to knock the shit out of a motherfucker, literally. And I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty sure a couple people have probably either shit themselves or shit themselves after the game because of how hard he hit them. So Patrick Willis came in with Joe Staley. We had 2 first-round picks that year. When we picked Patrick Willis, man, Patrick Willis highlight that they showed from him at Ole Miss was when he had a club. I believe it was on his right arm. He had a club because I think he had broken his arm, broken his hand, something. They showed him chasing down a wide receiver and tackling him. That showed me everything I needed to see right there in that one highlight. I'm like, if this young man can be a linebacker and has the speed to get with that guy, a wide receiver whose natural job is to run, oh we got a star. We got a superstar. We got a leader on defense. And he never, ever let me down, man. I never saw P. Willie not like lack on a play. He never took plays off. He just went out there. He did his job. And his job was to make your life a living hell while you were on that field, man. I'm telling you right now, let's just take a look at the numbers and figures and let's talk about it, man. This is great that this young man got into the league. Patrick Willis, 6'1", 242 pounds. I mean, this young man was flat out amazing. Patrick Willis only played 7 years in the league. Yes, people, the 7 illustrious years. And in that small time frame, Patrick Willis played in 112 games. The only time you saw him really miss time was his last year, and that was in 2014, but that's due to the injuries. That man had 8 interceptions over his career as a linebacker. He had his biggest year was 3 in 2009. Patrick Willis had 2 touchdowns as a linebacker. That's fantastic. You know what I'm saying? He had 53 passes defense and was double digits in passes defense twice. He had that in 2008, and he also had it in 2011. Patrick Willis forced 16 forced fumbles. You know what I'm saying? 4 was his high in 2011. But these are the things that happened. He had 5 fumble recoveries. And then he didn't have any touchdowns as far as the picking up and running. He had 20 and a half sacks. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at that, that's basically almost 3 a year. He had 950 fucking tackles. That is insane. That tells you that he was everywhere on the field, a true sideline to sideline linebacker. There is none better. There is none greater. He had 733 solo tackles. That means nobody helped him. He went ahead and did it. He finished the job. He had 60 TFLs. 60. The man had it in 2013. He had 10, and then in 2009 he had 13 tackles for a loss. There was never a moment where this man wasn't out there doing things. 41 QB hits over a 7-year career. That means he was averaging knocking the shit out of QB, you know what I'm saying, several times on a year in and year out basis. But Patrick fucking Willis, welcome to the Hall of Fame. You are deserving of it. You needed to be in there. People don't understand what Patrick Willis meant to the 49ers, man. Like when I talk about my team and I know a lot of people think, oh, well, he's a homer, he's doing this, he's doing that. I love my squad. I really do. But what I do want to tell you is the hard part about it is Patrick Willis was so great. And there are players that it breaks my heart to see that they never got a ring. I feel like if we win a Super Bowl, if we win tomorrow, we have to give rings to those who gave us everything. Patrick Willis deserves a ring. Frank Gore deserves a ring. Joe Staley deserves a ring. You know what I'm saying? It's guys like that were stalwarts on this defense and offense that really deserve to get a ring for the years that they put in, for the time that they put in, and for the happiness and joy that they brought us while we watched these guys on the field doing any and everything to entertain us and then at the same time do their job. You never heard Patrick Willis complain. He never cried. He never bitched. He didn't talk about the refs. He didn't do any of that. Patrick Willis was a consummate professional. He never got into trouble. You didn't see him doing fuck shit out there on the field. You didn't see him doing anything stupid. He was always coming to work, putting on that helmet, locking up that chin strap, and rocking your world and breaking your heart at the same time. Because if you were a player, you did not, I repeat, you did not want to see Patrick Willis coming your way. Like when his highlights are just literally full of people being destroyed. Like somebody thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and run. And there's a guy number 52, and I'm going to run at him. I'm not afraid of him. I don't care what I've seen on film. That guy, I can hit this guy. I can do. Yeah. You think twice after he rocks your world. I literally saw Patrick Willis catch a guy that tried to hurdle him, put his hand in his chest, and slam him to the ground. In today's league, they would have kicked him out the game. That'd have been a 15-yard penalty. He would have got fined, all kinds of shit, man. But Patrick Willis, welcome to the NFL Hall of Fame. You deserve every second of it. I appreciated every moment that you were on the field. It really it warms my heart to see that somebody with such a short career, but such a enormous impact get into the Hall of Fame. It is well deserved. It is long overdue. And I don't care what anyone says, man. Like I said, this is my favorite linebacker of all time. There is no one better than Patrick Willis to me as far as the 49ers are concerned. And I know a lot of people are like, yo, man, we had like some great line. We did. We had some monsters on our defense throughout our years. We definitely did. But this guy resonated with me because I watched him year in and year out, buckle that chin strap, go out there, lay the hammer down on anybody coming in his path. He was there when we had Deshaun Golson and Dante Whitner, a.k.a. Dante Hittner, where there was the kill zone, and that was the middle of the field. It's just where you didn't want to go because you could possibly die. Whitner was going to hit you. Golson was going to hit you. Bowman was going to hit you. Brooks was going to hit you. Willis was going to hit you. The Cowboy was going to hit you. Alden Smith was going to hit you. So Pawaga was going to hit. Like, bro, I will go down a rabbit hole of 49ers and never, ever stop. But if there's one guy that I would literally love him to be here training our linebackers. That's what I would love for him to do. Bro, could you? Okay, let's talk about this real quick. We have two very, very great linebackers right now on this team, and Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. And a lot of people will compare them to Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis. Now, what a lot of people don't know about Navarro Bowman is Bowman was going to get cut before Harbaugh got here. He's going to get cut. They didn't see what they liked. They didn't want to do it. Harbaugh came in. Fangio came in. Nah, we'll keep him. Let's see what we can do. That 3-4 defense, sir. Bruh. 3-4 defense was a monster. But could you imagine Patrick Willis getting his hands on Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw and teaching them how to play as violently as he played, and then having just an extra coach to fine tune it to make sure that we're well within league standards, bruh, you don't want the smoke. You just don't. And I'm telling you right now, man, it's crazy when you think about it, because Patrick Willis was so great, so strong, so fast, so quick, so agile, so smart that you couldn't game plan for a guy like that. As many ways you thought you were going to stop him, there were a million ways he could find to beat you. Patrick Willis, thank you so much for all the joy, the happiness that you have brought me over the years. My memories of you will live on forever in my mind, and I really do appreciate everything you did for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sorry we couldn't get you a ring while you were here, and I know we came close in 2014, and I know you had to retire early due to the injury, but at the end of the day, man, I appreciate you. You are my favorite linebacker of all time for the 49ers and just for the league in general. And I know the league has had a ton of linebackers that have done so much more as far as numbers and stats and whatnot, but there is nobody, I repeat, nobody better than Patrick Willis at the linebacker position. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate everyone for stopping in. And for anybody that watches this video, hey, man, I'm just paying respect to the dudes that I know about, man. I watched every last one of these guys. I've seen Devin Hester do things like that, not in person, but I've watched it on TV. Believe you me, it is insane what that young man could do. Dwight Freeney was just a ridiculous monster off the edge. Julius Pepper, ridiculous monster off the edge. Andre Johnson, one of the best receivers to ever grace the field. Like, these are guys that belong there. They did things that we just couldn't fathom. For Julius Peppers to do what he did is just flat out insane. For Patrick Willis to do what he did, insane. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Roy boy. Nothing but love, bro. But I'm telling you right now, all of these guys that I talked about are well deserving of the Hall of Fame, have a special place in my heart because I watched them do things on the field that I didn't think could be done. All of them have their own specific special talents, and they all are more than deserving of this nod. And it's great to see them get their bust and go to Canton and be able to, see themselves and everything like that and be there with all of the other players. I got to get to Canton because I've never been. I got to go literally. I got to get to Ohio. I got to go to Canton and see that Hall of Fame. I want to pay for the Hall of Fame experience. Like, I really want to go and see it and walk around and look at the bust and check out all of my guys, that have been in there, and thank everybody for tuning in, man. I'm going to get out of here. I got a couple more things I got to do for the day, a few little podcasts and whatnot, but I'm going to continually keep the content rolling. And we will be talking about the Niners probably tomorrow morning. We'll get that happening. Everybody go ahead and check in with Brian Cope. I'm pretty sure he'll start doing his Saturday morning thing before, he gets up and gets his day going. I know he usually does that. Shout out to Brian. He is a really good dog, really good guy. Hey, Mom. But thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate everybody. If you're in California, prayers up for you. Please be safe, man. Be mindful. If you're really close to the coast, you got to get up out of there, bro. That rain is going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you right now, man, if you are in Vegas, hey, be careful, be safe, have fun. You know what I'm saying? And remember, you're not in our territory. Vegas is Sin City, along with the fact that it's now the home of the Raiders. And we all know how Raiders fans can be. And Raiders fans are probably a little more pissed off because they have two of their biggest rivals playing in their house for the Super Bowl. So just be mindful out there. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that we can't handle ourselves, people, but just be careful because that's got to stick in your craw. Because I can tell you right now, if I'm going to Levi's, and in the process of me going to Levi's, I know that the Super Bowl is being played there. But the Rams and the fucking Raiders are playing in the Super Bowl at Levi's, nah, I'm not allowing that to happen. I'm fucking shit up. I'm finding a way for this game not to happen. I want to delay it. I want to postpone it. I want to find a way to stop it. I don't want you motherfuckers playing for shit in my damn house. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Raider fans that ain't already tried. You've got to have beefed up security, knowing as Mark Davis that your stadium is at risk. Allegiant Stadium is at risk. Why? Because you probably got fans out there that really cannot stand the fact that these two teams are in their house playing for their Super Bowl, and they are not. Everybody knows the situation with us and the Raiders, Bay Area rivals. You go to the town, which is Oakland. You know what I'm saying? You fucking with it. You a Raider fan. You know what I'm saying? You go to Frisco. It's the Bay, Yay area. You fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things, so much history between us and them. And then the Chiefs being literally in their division and being the kings of their division year in and year out, having to sit there and be frustrated and watch Patrick Mahomes, punk ass, go to the Super Bowl every so often, always in the AFC Championship game continuously. These are things that you have to deal with as a Raider fan. And I can understand your frustration because I'd be pissed off too. But one thing about me is I'm not a Raider fan. I'm a Niner fan. That's why I don't have these worries. But hey, man, stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed. Thank everyone for tuning in. Probably be back tomorrow morning with another video. As far as talking about this Super Bowl game, man, and checking in with everybody, seeing how everybody's feeling. I'll probably actually schedule it. I know I'm always never scheduled at all. But I'm probably going to try to schedule it to make sure that everything is good. Y'all see that link down there at the bottom. Go to patreon.com/Niner Gang Podcast to support the channel. I don't have tiers and whatnot on there, but anything you give to support the channel, I really appreciate it. I'm always trying to make upgrades and find different things to do. But hey, man, I appreciate everyone for stopping in and hanging out with your boy. Stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed, and I'm out. Peace.